Hey guys, it's Alyssa. Welcome back to my channel. What the fuck is up? I hope everyone's having a great day. So if you haven't already, go follow me on my Instagram because this video was requested by one of my followers. So I am going to be talking about, as you can see by the title, my tattoos and the meanings, for if they even have meanings, and let's just get right into it. I'm looking really natural today because it's just been kind of a hard few days. My health is not the best right now, but you know what? We're trucking through. So I have some notes. If I'm looking down, that is why, just because I kind of went through from the first tattoo I ever got to the last one I got and took myself back to the times when I was getting them. I was like, bitch, what was going through your head? So we'll start with the very first tattoo I ever got. I was 15. I know. It all started out with what some people would call a prison tattoo. They're referred to as stick and pokes. Basically, I think you can get kits that let you do it more safely and actually correctly. But yeah, mine was done in my best friend in high school's basement with this guy that I didn't even know that well that also went to the school we attended. Yeah, it's this one that's on my wrist. I'm going to be, as you see right now, showing you close-ups of every single tattoo. This one is just a triangle because I was, I don't know, into some weird shit. Basically, it is a water sign, or it can be seen as one. I'm a Pisces. I didn't want to be too basic and get the Pisces symbol, so I decided to get a triangle. Still basic, but honestly, it's one of my favorite tattoos. He did an amazing job, but it was not done safely. Ink was shared, and I'm so grateful, and so is the other girl probably, that we didn't get a blood infection from that. So do not do that. I don't recommend. My mom was not pleased by that, even though she did support the fact that I like tattoos and body mods, piercings, etc. She obviously wants me to do that safely, so that was upsetting to her. The second tattoo I ever got was the birds that are on my forearm. This is on my left arm, and the whole idea around this was, around this time, a lot of people I knew were getting arrows tattooed on them, which for them symbolized moving forward or overcoming a huge obstacle or complication, difficulty in their life. I really loved that idea. I'm a super huge believer in that you really do just have to keep moving on, and I've had a lot of terrible things happen in my life. I've struggled with a lot, you know, just as many of us have, and the first time that something super traumatic happened to me, I actually was so shocked that life kind of just continues to go on. I never could fully wrap my head around that. So this tattoo, as you can see, there are 8 birds. 8 is an angel number that can have to do with new beginnings. It's been my lucky number forever, and the birds are flying towards my wrist as symbolizing kind of going through my fingers and moving forward. It was to help me kind of get through my mental battles that I've been dealing with from a very young age. Not a lot of people I knew had birds on them, but this has become a pretty popular design. No, I'm not bothered by the fact that it's considered basic. I still love it. It's on my body, and I don't regret it. Another thing that I thought was interesting when I got this is that a lot of birds fly south for the winter, and I've always struggled with worsened depression in the winter months, so I'm like, bitch, same. I fly south in the winter too. That was something that I thought, and I actually got that 2 or 3 weeks after the triangle one. I had finally turned 16, and so I went to an actual shop to my tattoo artist. Yeah, he did it with the permission of my mother. She was there with me. Yeah. The third tattoo that I got was with my sister and my mom. My mom really admired my tattoos. She thought I was a badass, that I was so young and could handle the pain, whatever. And she wanted, we all three kind of just wanted to get matching tattoos. So we got this, again, basic like infinity rose design on our shoulders. My sister and I have it on our right shoulder, and then my mom actually got it on her calf because just for her job she wanted it in a spot that wasn't on her torso. Yeah, it's just the bond of a family. My sister found the design on Pinterest, and my artist kind of changed it up a bit because I'm not huge on stealing designs. The more tattoos I got, the more personal I made them for me. I didn't want to have a bunch that were just, you know, all on social media, that a bunch of people had. I wanted to make them a lot more individualized to me and who the fuck I am as a person. So I really liked this quote by Jack Kerouac, and I believe if I'm reciting it correctly, it says, "No matter where we are, whether in this endless universe of stars and mountains or a room of thought, it's all in our minds." I read that when I was 14 years old, and I knew immediately, I was like, that is so powerful. I want that in my life forever. Like, I want to carry that with me because I've struggled so badly with mental health issues, like I said, from a very young age. And so even when I was 14, I was like, holy shit, that kind of gave me a weird epiphany. And I was like, it's true, it is all in our mind. Literally, the brain is so insane. There's so many things we don't know about it. This tattoo basically was inspired by that quote, and it says, "It's all in my mind." My tattoo artist just kind of did this in some dope ass handwriting. This wasn't even print or anything from a computer, and I really liked it. So I was like, put that shit on my ribs. We as humans, especially in this really pressuring society, get in our heads way too much. So it's just kind of a reminder for me to chill the fuck out. Does it work? No. Do anti-anxiety medications work? Yes. The sixth one is where I got super fucking creative. For years I knew I wanted like sleeves or a half sleeve, or just tattoos, like at least on the top half of my arms, because I was always really self-conscious of them. And I just think tattoos are such a beautiful art. So my half sleeve, let's just start from the back. As you can see, there's a conch shell. Growing up, my parents are actually from the East Coast, so every summer we would take trips to Cape Cod. My mom's from Massachusetts, and it was just a really great memory I had from my childhood. Like I said in the beginning, I am a Pisces. I'm not huge with the like astrological signs and stuff, but I do know that I'm so drawn to water. It's one of the most comforting things. I have an attachment to the ocean, so I decided to get that because it reminded me of going to the Cape and being serene in a place that feels so comfortable. Roses, I just knew if I was going to get a sleeve tattoo or anything like big, I wanted roses to be incorporated in it. A lot of people have roses. I think that they're beautiful flowers, really anything in nature. Fuck it up, draw it on me, bitch, you know what I mean? Well, I incorporated roses along the sleeve, and in the center part of my arm on the inside, you can see that there are Roman numerals. This is the number 18. This number symbolizes a lot for me. Every major event, impactful person, something that was very meaningful to me, all somehow was attached to the number 18, and it is so weird. And also the angel number for 1 and 8, so 18 together means that you've kind of mastered the material world and that you have fulfillment in wishes and life and just abundance. So not only has it represented so many new beginnings and lessons in my life, but it gives me that sense that I've always been mature for my age. I kind of feel like I know what's going on. I haven't mastered this because I don't think anyone can really master the material world. I'm not above anyone, but I do feel kind of protected and serene in who I am, and that number kind of symbolizes that for me. So that's why that's there. The anatomical heart. That's the most drawing thing to this tattoo, which is why I made it smack on the outside of my shoulder so that everyone could see it. It's my favorite part about it as well. There's that old saying, I wear my heart on my sleeve. It's very cheesy. That's not exactly why I got the tattoo, but it's true. I've been told for forever that I'm an oversharer, and it's not a lie. I definitely am. So my emotions are always out there. My heart is worn on my sleeve, and I am so just fascinated with human anatomy and the body and how incredible the human body is. I just love the design of the anatomical heart. I remember being like 2 or 3 when I learned that hearts inside of our chest weren't like the hearts that I saw on Valentine's Day cards and shit. And ever since I saw the design, I loved it so much, but I struggled a lot with like health anxiety, and that shit used to really freak me out. As I got older, I was way more drawn to like human anatomy and stuff. So I just think it's beautiful. The heart and the brain are just, they work together so much, not only physically, but spiritually as well. So I'm very connected to them both. I have a plan to get a brain tattoo actually, but right now I just have this anatomical heart and I love it. That's why I got that one. The tattoo that I have on the inner side of my left arm is actually in my mother's handwriting. It says, I believe in you, and I got this because my mom has been the most supportive person. there have been so many things that I thought I couldn't overcome, and then with her support and with my family and everyone's help and her always saying like, I believe in you, it really helped. So I was like, bitch, write that shit down. I'm getting that on my arm. I know it's imperfect, but it's in her handwriting. No one else can write that. You know, it's meaningful. It's in her handwriting. I love it. My next tattoo is on my wrist. It's on the opposite side of my triangle, and it is actually just a crescent moon. This was done terribly. This was done by a different artist, and it just wasn't done well. And this was done with one of my old friends. I'm actually gonna get this touched up / like covered up, and it has nothing against the old friend that I had or anything. It's just it wasn't done well. The ink didn't take well to my skin, and I'm just not loving it. So that's gonna be covered up eventually, but I'm not in a rush. I don't hate it. It's still a part of my body, and whatever, it's there. It was a fun day. I got it on my 18th birthday. So it was the first tattoo I got where I didn't need my mom to be there to sign for me. It was an exciting day. The 8th tattoo, which is my last tattoo, is the one that's on my sternum / stomach. Basically, it's just right under my tits. And I was super excited to be 18, and I was like super extra and being sexual and shit. And I was like, I want a tattoo right underneath my titties. And so the same guy who did the crescent moon, actually, when he was doing the moon, he was like, come in a few weeks, I'll give you one under your tits if you want it, like if you're serious. And this one, I think he actually did really well. I was super impressed, and I don't regret it at all. This one has very little meaning. The only thing is that clearly it is a lotus, and lotuses grow in very dirty, murky water. But if you've ever seen them, they are so beautiful, regardless of the environment that they bloom in. And emotionally, I totally fucking feel that. So I've always loved that about lotuses. I wanted a lotus tattoo actually to be my first tattoo when I was like 15 before I ever got one, and I was like, I want it to be a tramp stamp, and my mom was totally cool with that and everything, but I decided against it, and kind of glad that I did. Yeah, that was the last tattoo. I guess people ask me all the time if tattoos hurt. Genuinely, they do not hurt me. I don't have a pain tolerance for them. No. The only one that got uncomfortable was the one on my sternum, and it started hurting like the 3rd hour, and he was done in that 3rd hour. And the thing that it felt like was that like inside my stomach was hurting. It felt like I had like really bad acid reflux or an ulcer or something, but I'm a fucking freak, and for some reason I don't consider that extreme pain. So the pain of tattoos has never bothered me because it's just such beautiful art. I get so excited for them, and yeah, they have taken quite a bit of time and costed quite a bit of money. If I have any advice to give you guys watching, think about what you want. It doesn't have to be meaningful, but make sure you're gonna like it. Don't partake in those stupid bets where it's like, if you lose, get my face tattooed on your ass. Don't do that unless that's something that brings you joy. Be selfish when it comes to these things because they're gonna be on your body, and it's a bitch to get them removed, and sometimes it's slightly impossible. Do your research, go to a shop that you know is safe, that maybe a few people have gone to. Don't hesitate to have consultations with your artist before. It's going to be not only an investment of your time, it's going to be an emotional investment, and it's going to be an investment of your money. I spent quite a lot of money on my half sleeve, and it took a while to complete. I didn't do it all in one session. So it's just a lot of things to take into account. Don't rush into anything, especially getting ink permanently inserted into your skin. That is all for today's video. Before you guys click off, if you haven't heard already, I am right now in the process of recording my first debut album. It's actually going to be processed, polished, mastered, everything like that, and a lot different from the other projects I've worked on. The last one that I have done, and it's the first one that's ever been publicly released, was a project I worked on when I was 15. It is a short EP called November, an Intimate Acoustic Session. I have a playlist of it right here on YouTube. If you want to go check that out, I'd really appreciate it. Also, it's on Spotify, iTunes, and Apple Music, and SoundCloud. All of those links will be down below. And yeah, stay tuned and add my Instagram. That's where I ask you guys and connect with you a lot. I post regularly. I want to hear your advice on the videos and how to better my channel. And yeah, that's all. Bye, bitch.
I don't know how to be by myself. Please come home to